This April, we've decided that the pod is getting wet, right? The pod is getting wet. So these are messed up, wet horror movies, right? Or any kind of movie that's wet. We chose to start off with one of the wettest movies I've seen in recent years. I chose Alexandre Aja's Crawl, right?
Is that how you're supposed to say it?
I don't know. I took a shot. I just took a swing. Yeah.
I think it's Aja. I think it's Alexandre Aja.
I think that is right, now that you mention it. Great filmmaker. I've loved him for years. He's kind of a French extreme style fucking filmmaker. This is, what if you took some of that French extreme wave and you dropped it in the middle of fucking Florida man stories, right? This is the story of a young girl who's a swimmer at the University of Florida. She gets a call from her sister, who's empathetic from a distance, we learn, right? She's like, I haven't heard from Papa. I haven't heard from Daddy. She's like, I don't talk to Daddy. I'm emo. She's like, I haven't heard from Daddy. Go find Daddy. So this girl leaves her college university, drives 2 to 3 hours to get to her Daddy, who's in Florida as a hurricane is hitting, a massive hurricane. And they specifically say, do not go. You have to evacuate. It's coming. Daddy decides, like most Florida men, the government can't tell me what to do, and decides he's going to go back to their family home that is the fucking last museum site of when they were happy before a divorce happened and the whole family took a shit. The girl finds her dad there. The storm worsens, and Mother Nature, in the form of 2 scaly assassins, have sent her fucking murderers to get berry peppers hidden behind the fucking pipes of a Floridian house. So this is what we have. This is classic man and daughter versus nature. Florida man doesn't listen to science and the government and almost gets his entire family killed by crocodiles that do even pro wrestling moves. Alex, how could you not love this fucking white knuckle thrill ride of a movie?
Here's the thing. I don't dislike Crawl. Because it's not like it's not a shitty movie. There's just like, it does the same thing that a lot of, I do think it's like the patron saint of movies for Florida. Like anyone who lives in Florida probably watched this. There was cheering in the theater, like, hell yeah, brother, yeah. Like we were just talking about.
This is a fantasy for them.
We were just talking about movie theater etiquette. This is for sure like a bunch of Florida guys in fucking Destin. Were just like screaming like, hell yeah, yeah, no one takes my land, hell yeah. And you're like, God, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah.
I don't talk to my kid unless it's in sports grind culture comments. It's like, guy, everything Barry Peppers does in this movie is bad. Don't do it.
Yeah. Barry Pepper is not a winning father figure in this movie. Okay. Crawl is not a bad movie. I'm going to state that very clearly. Here's my problem. And this is always my problem, honestly, with like movies like this, is so many choices throughout the movie are made in ways that I'm just like, no one, even the dumbest Florida man, and I've met a lot of them.
I was going to say, these are Florida people.
Even the dumbest Florida man is, at their very core, a survivalist. Like, I must live on so that my Four Loko infused DNA. I have a bunch of
giant soft relatives that are Floridians.
Yeah.
This is not, and one of them even graduated from the University of Florida, not a bastion of high academics. It's fine. Like this is fantasy stuff.
Yeah. By the way, the Florida Gators, they're like notable people. Like they've had a lot of Olympians. They've also had Tim Tebow and
a couple murderers. Yeah, a couple murderous NFL players. That's good.
Yeah, Ryan Lochte. Aaron Hernandez. Ryan Lochte, you remember that genius? Yeah, come on. Like we're just
here's the thing. We expect very little from Florida. Florida's a good punchline for all of this.
Yeah, so like there's a punching down movie, about critiquing this movie. So again, it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. It actually is quite thrilling and quite entertaining. I do think there are just baffling choices throughout the movie that I'm like, why? Okay, let's start here. I'm gonna say this, and I know you'll have another preamble anyways, and that's fine. But I'm gonna say this: just because you swam for a college swimming team does not mean that you are just gonna outswim gators, but also at the same time somehow navigate the torrential waters of a Cat 5 hurricane as it floods it. I'm sorry. Like, there is a suspension. There's so much suspending disbelief in this movie. That's the one that I'm like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Hold on. Like,
you have to give every movie 1. This one asks for like 4.
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's the problem.
Just the world we live
that's
in.
That's the exact problem with Crawl. Every movie asks for 1. You give every movie 1. This is asking for 4, and I just can't give them 4.
And you're like, why are there shower fucking frosted doors made of like Kryptonian material that Crocs can't break?
Apparently this glass is made of dwarven mithril. Like, is
that mithril? Elven mithril? Yeah. No, it's so dumb. But that's what I mean. This to me is a good kind of dumb, right?
Sure.
I saw a TikTok the other day. I don't know why this was sent to me. But it's one of these things. Everyone now thinks you can hack life, you can hack your brain, you can hack everything. This guy goes, here's the thing. He's like, I solved weight loss. And I was like, I want to solve weight loss. I'm chubby. You can see when I sit in these chairs, they're not flattering. I was like, I'd like to lose some lbs. Yeah, and the guy goes, here's the deal. Let's say that you are a top of your field Olympic athlete, right? Power lifter, swimmer, runner. You are the peak physical specimen of whatever athletic endeavor you're in. And I'm like, all right, I'm imagining, right? Josh Griffey does the fucking best power clean of all time. I'm holding like 800 pounds over my head. I'm jacked.
Got it. My eyes are closed. I'm thinking about this.
The powerlifter guys are still chubs. So I'm doing the crossbar like Vince Vaughn in the fucking old school. I got my smoke and I'm just fucking ripped, right?
Yep.
And he goes, okay, that's your mindset now. That's just who you are. That's just who you are. The next morning you wake up and something Freaky Friday style has happened and you are a big fat now.
Got it.
And he goes, you would, because again, remember, your mind is that of an Olympic top of your tier athlete. You would lose that weight in record time and be backed to being a jacked Olympian. And I immediately just went, this guy's never been 300 pounds like some of us. Like, this guy has no idea what that kind of weight does to a human body.
Okay. You were describing this when you got to the part of like, you wake up. Okay, you're an Olympic athlete. You wake up and you're a big fat. I'm like, okay, my body looks the same. I don't see the difference here.
It's Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. You wake up and now you are old and fat. But this guy said it so crystal clear, and he's like, it's just change your mindset. And I was like, that's so fucking stupid. But people out there will hear that and be like, hell yeah, brother. That's the movie Crawl. That's who this movie's made for, which is, it's a dad who's like, I'm going to go save my house from a hurricane by boarding up some vents. It's like, brother, your crawl space has fucking little crosses on the whole bottom. There's no way you can save this house. It's impossible. He gets knocked out. A gator bites him, whatever. His daughter comes. And instead of like being like a good dad and apologizing for everything he did, which he does briefly for one line, he's like, if I keep telling you, my daughter, you're an apex predator, that will be true, even in the face of like many fucking very
actual
ravenous
apex
crocodiles.
predator.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, I am," and she swims out, and she would just get eaten and murdered.
Yeah,
but in this movie represents the power of manifestation, right? Never mind that at the end, the girl with just but a simple hammer is able to break the floor in half, and they're underneath with the shovel and could have just done that at the start. We got to fucking swim around. We got to do machinations, and I think a lot of horror movies and action movies suffer from the same things that can make Crawl a bit arduous at times, which is like, my phone's right over there in the middle of wide open spaces. I've got to go get it. And when I get it, I don't scuttle back to safety. I've got to make the call now. And you're like, no, none of that is right. None of that's how you do it. But it's a movie, right? And it is. And it's funny. I've seen this movie like 4 times. Still, every time I watch it, I'm like on the edge of my seat, like, stop. No, don't do that. No. It still has not worn off on me. So there is, even though it is kind of a very dumb game that they've set up,
sure,
it's really well executed. Like, once you sink into the dumbness of it, it's a beautiful sugary drink.
So I was reading about this, and apparently, so Alexandre Aja spent a year rewriting this script from the spec, and this is the thing I kept like thinking about while I was watching it. I was like, you spent a year rewriting this because apparently he's like, it just wasn't fleshed out enough. Like, it more was a short film. Like, hold on.
This movie's like 87 minutes long.
The original version of this movie was not Like, it wasn't fleshed out like this. Holy
it was written
shit.
on the back of Menard seats by an actual Florida guy. And then I fucking stabbed the gator with my shovel. Woo!
Who turned in this fucking script where they're like, hey, guys, I think we struck gold. And we're like, this is literally on a cocktail napkin. Like, you've written the entire movie. It's one of
those very long Menards receipts.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and then you know what I do for the fourth time? I use a tool belt as a tourniquet. Woo! And you're like, God, guys, we got it. You've done that beat a lot.
You're just like, again, it was just like, I read that factoid and I'm like, this is blowing my mind. This movie wasn't fleshed out enough. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what was the pitch? I don't know, Gator in the basement, hurricane coming. All right, well,
good pitch.
Sold.
It's a good pitch.
Sold.
Classic.
Okay, so beyond that. Again, the father-daughter dynamic is interesting. It definitely gives the movie a little bit of a molten core at the center. I think my problem with the movie, and again, I didn't think it was still fun to watch. There's a level, but we've talked about this before. There's a level of drive in this movie beyond survival that I don't understand. There's not the emotional core in this movie it's very little molten core. Like, that's my problem. Is
like a molten fucking cake, like a little chocolate molten.
We're
ball
talking
of
about
cake.
like a real it's like that scene in Chef where he's like the ramekin, it bakes inside. It's like that's not cooked all the way through quite.
Yeah,
and I think that's sort of where it loses me a little bit. It's like, stop trying to bait me into thinking that you're making some emotional point between these two. I'm like, they don't get along. He's telling her bad information about how apex predators work.
Yeah, well, also he's like, they can't see you. And I was like, alligators can see.
Not
what are you
true
talking
at
about?
all. Like, that's
and I was like, you're bleeding all over the water. I was like, I know sharks can smell blood.
Yeah.
A part of me feels like I've heard that crocodiles could too.
There's just so, again, and I think Barry Pepper, by the way, is a really great, like, unsung actor.
So
like,
good.
I truly love Barry Pepper in anything. Like, this is a guy who survived Battlefield Earth. So, like, quite frankly, like, he should have been given an Oscar just for getting out of that and being able to do movies beyond that. But he's like Saving Private Ryan, 61. Like, he's a great actor.
Great. Kind of went from like that teen guy, like in that era that you didn't know that he would transition. And
yeah.
He's a good older. Okay, so right now, just like a 2-second Google search. Yes, alligators have a keen sense of smell and can detect blood in water.
Right.
These two are bleeding bucket loads.
Profusely.
For the entire movie. So if I have one beef with the movie, just one, and then there's other dumb stuff I can't really. Barry Peppers is like walking this whole movie with a broken leg. At one point, he's walking out of his house holding his dog with a broken leg with a wrench around. I was like, that's not how legs work. She gets her fucking body eviscerated, her fucking leg and knee. She is then swimming and doing laps through the whole rest of the movie. I was like, there is this to me takes me back to like those old like Arnold movies.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, as long as a person is jacked, they can do literally anything. And we go, yes, that makes sense. You can hold on to the edge of a jet with one hand. What's a G-force? I don't care. Arnold is buff. This movie is, again, this is the toxic AAU parent wet dream. Right, which is all the abuse I'm giving my kids because I can't emotionally relate to you like Barry Pepper. I'm ignoring my wife. I'm ignoring my other daughter, but this daughter's in the pool at like 3 a.m. trying to drown herself.
Yeah.
I see that as a good thing. This girl is a fighter, and you're like, nope, call CPS. That's horrible.
Yeah, no.
He's like, as long as I abuse this girl into the ground and give her no emotional support, but I'm cheering for her in the water. And I make everything about my validation for her based on her scores. She'll love me in the end and thank me for being great. Like Tiger and his dad, right? That all worked out. That's what they think in this movie. And it's so insane. This manifestation, you're an apex predator. And you're like, that doesn't work. The dumbest scene in the movie, a movie that has a lot of dumb scenes. This is the one that I was like, I can't even suffer this one. The stuff in the house, like, I got to get my phone. I got to get to the stairs. I'm going to try to save the cop who's getting eaten by alligators. You're like, I can stomach all that because you are stuck in this basement area, this crawl space that is going to flood. They do have to bust a move eventually.
Yeah.
Fine, I can get through almost everything in the basement. They finally make it out of the basement, right? Through just fucking chicanery. That's another crazy one. But she gets out, she busts the floor open and pulls her dad out. And you're like, you should have just gone up through the floor immediately if it's just made of wet, like fucking 1/4-inch fucking laminate, whatever the fuck that shit was.
Whatever.
I was like, should have just done that start. They saved the family, right? All of a sudden, he's like, we cannot be here when the levee breaks. When the levee breaks, we're going to die. We got to go. So he's hobbling on a broken leg, carrying the chillest, most dope fucking dog in a movie ever.
Dog's the best actor in the movie.
Dude, Logan, my son, was watching with me last night, and he's like, chill dog. He's like, that dog's so chill. And I was like, that dog does fucking rule, man.
Yeah.
And it better fucking live through the movie, and it did. But they start walking out. Barry Pepper's like, we cannot be here when the levees break. He's like, you look over there at that fucking gas station. There's a boat. And he's like, we have to get to that boat. And he goes, if we walk in the water, they cannot detect us because we're not splashing. And there's rain and torrential shit everywhere. And you're just like, none of that is true. They can detect you immediately because of the blood. You're still moving.
Perfect.
They have eyeballs.
It's perfect Florida man logic. It's like, I heard a thing one time.
And Effie's like, you know what? I'm in biology 101 at Florida State. He's like, poppycock, I'm a father. That means I know shit. And he's like, if we walk out, we'll be fine. And this is the scene of the movie. I was like, you lost me here a little bit. This is killing my disbelief. So they start walking out. The Gators are splashing around, and they're like, all right, we're good. All of a sudden, the rain stops, and they go, holy shit. The eye of the storm is above us. And they look up. It's like perfect blue Florida skies.
Yeah.
And there's no rain. And he goes, fucking freeze. Like it's the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. 2 Gators, like, essentially touch them going by. So these things are within feet of them. They're at least fucking 50 yards to that boat. And he goes, apex predator. He's like, you got to get to that boat. So she fucking starts swimming and splash. Human swimming, which is not fast.
Yeah.
These Gators are on her ass. There's like 3 or 4 of them. They keep nipping at her feet. There ain't no fucking way she gets in that boat. She gets in that boat. She cranks the engine and she goes, apex predator all day. And I was like, what kind of Under Armour commercial horse shit did I just watch? And again, at that point in the movie, you have to have relented to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of it's like how fascism works, where the government keeps telling you lies, and eventually you just can't fucking fight it anymore. This movie keeps bombarding you with stupid bombs, and you eventually just go, oh, I can't.
Yeah. This movie is the perfect allegory for fascism.
It really is. This is exactly how fascism and sports parents work.
It is a really fascinating, it is like an unrelenting 87-minute ad for why people should go to the University of Florida. No, I'm kidding. It is like this, it is this unrelenting idea about like perseverance. And I'm like, hang on a second. You're telling me that if you work harder than anyone else during a Category 5 hurricane, not only will you survive it, you will also beat the most like some of the most vicious animals that have ever lived. Like, these are ex-dinosaurs. And yet we're just like, you know what? Again, it is, if you're willing to give one in this movie, because there's a lot, the one you have to give to really enjoy it. And like really, and again, this is why I don't hate this movie, but this is why I had trouble kind of enjoying it. The one you have to give is that humans are an apex predator. And that has never and will never be true. We are
an apex predator when we have weapons.
We are the dominant life force on this planet because our brains are developed. Yes. However, we are not even close to being apex predators on this planet.
Our armor sucks, our teeth suck, our claws suck.
Yeah.
Like, we are weak animals.
We get taken out by colds
to then fucking kill these animals. Like,
right.
If I wanted to go out in a giant boat with a fucking elephant gun and sniper rifle, I could hit alligators from a boat and probably kill them. I could set traps for them. I could dynamite the water. I could do all kinds of stuff.
But
I cannot just say, I am a fucking human of pure mind and determination. Here's what I was watching this movie, and I was like, you know what this movie actually struck me as? This is the kind of movie that, like, that Kirk Cameron studio would put out. Like this is a Jesus movie.
I was waiting for a Jesus moment. It never happened.
They go down in the basement, right? And she finds him. And she's like, "Dad, you betrayed our family. You banged a satanic cocktail waitress. You found sin in your life." And he's like, "I did, but I repent to the Lord." And she's like, "Good, because I gave up. I'm chaste. I'm going to be a nun. Like I don't do sex stuff anymore." And he's like, "Oh my God, you're inspiring me." The light of Jesus literally shines through that crawl space. And then they can do all of the superhuman shit that we see in this movie.
Sure.
Then maybe you could be an apex predator if a fake deity gave you goddamn Aquaman powers to swim around. Also, there's like scenes where she holds her breath for like 8 minutes in this movie.
You
have to get past that. That's the one you have to give, is that people do things their bodies could not possibly do.
I don't know anything about like competitive swimming. I liked swimming, but I'm not like a competitive swimmer. But here's, for me, I don't know about you or anyone else listening right now, but I feel like there's a world of difference between swimming 100 meters through alligator-infested water and God knows what else versus a very clean pool doing a 100-meter freestyle against yourself.
Well, let's talk. Okay, so I Googled this because I thought that's what you're asking. An alligator is significantly faster in the water than the best human swimmer. Well, top human swimmers reach speeds of approximately 5 miles an hour.
5.
Alligators can swim at speeds up to 20 miles an hour. There is not a fucking scene in this movie that can happen. She gets fucking chewed up the first time she goes to the stairs. Like, this movie's over. But again, give the supernatural. Here's what I actually want to focus in on.
Sure.
I actually think it's incredible how they pull this trick off. Because again, Effie's a human teenage girl. She's not even close to one of the fastest swimmers on Earth, right? If the fastest ever recorded is 5 miles, she might be like 3.2, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. That's just how biology works. She ain't that. Give up the physical side. Give up that Barry Peppers is a Florida man, right? Give up that the cops and the robbers are Florida men, right? They're all making bad, stupid choices.
Right.
I do think it's incredible that despite how kind of false and mechanized every scene in this movie is, every scene in this movie is a mechanical set piece, right? The alligators being all CG, it's like this is nothing about this is a real scenario, right?
Right.
I do think the fact that it's all so fucking staged and it's all so fucking vacuous. Mm-hmm. I cannot believe, even the third or fourth time I've seen this, how fucking tense and stressful it still is. How do they pull that trick off in your mind to make it actually a stressful watch in a way that most horror movies are not to me, considering how little I believe anything I'm watching?
Right. I think it's twofold. I think there's considerable... The cast is really good. Like, I'll say, like... Kai Scodelario and Barry Pepper are great to watch. They're very thrilling. Like, even things that don't make sense, like when he's like, there's that scene where he's like, you didn't give up. You can give up. And she's like, you gave up on Mom. And I'm like, really? Right now you're bringing this shit up? Like, dude, this is not the time. Like,
hey, I'm getting that shot in before we drown. I'm going to let you know.
I was like, this is a weird choice, but okay, let's have this moment. But like, so you have these two people that carry the emotional weight of this movie that isn't it's not very heavy, but they make it seem that way. Again, it's very good. The other thing, and I think this is kind of the key to that's kind of the key to the point that you're trying to make. I think if this movie is edited impeccably. Like, this movie is, like, for being what it is cut together very well. Like, in a way that actually paces it so well that I don't feel like I'm getting jump scared a lot in a way that I think a movie of a lesser quality like this would do. Like, it's just making, like, it's scary already. Like, we're never doing this thing where, like, oh, let's not show the alligators. It's like, hey, they're in Florida and they're being besieged by an alligator. Let's just show the alligator and not fuck
There's like one or two where they jump out of the water. The worst one is at the first lightning flash where it's behind her and it's like... in the lightning, and you're like, come on, all right. But that's like the setup one. But again, they're not like really cheap jump scares.
Not at all.
And to your point, a lot of it is the tension of, we know it's coming. We know that the human's slower. We know we got to get to that door across fucking 50 feet of gator water. They do a pretty good job of making it engaging. And I do think, to your point, I do think it's Effie and Pepper who fucking hold it down. Like, even though their relationship is damaged and not good or healthy, those two seem to buy into what they're doing so specifically. And they're so invested in surviving and winning the moment and winning the one battle at a time that you do kind of, it is weird. It is a little bit like watching a Mighty Ducks movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was thinking of Mighty Ducks 2, D2, where it's like we are getting crushed by the Icelandic team. Their coach has a suit and a fucking slick haircut. We watch Gordon Bombay take on the fucking effects of the fucking, cool wolf, whatever is it, Wolfgang, whatever, who fucking injures people. You watch the Mighty Ducks be crushed by these things. But because we have inner city kid gumption, we will not allow ourselves to be defeated. We have American pluckiness. We will not be defeated by Iceland. That's kind of the game we're running here, just versus alligators and Mother Nature. It's like your hurricanes and your gators cannot stop us. We are apex predators. And it's like the hurricane's like, stop saying that. But it's like, that's what we're doing. So it has this kind of sports movie. Like, we know when we watch Rudy, Rudy's not a good football player. He's not as good as anyone on the field in college football history. But they tell us that he tries really hard. And you want to root for that. I think it triggers something primal in us that we want to root for underdogs. And as dumb as this is, and as unbelievable as it is, you still kind of want to root for them. It is a good trick.
Nobody goes into this movie saying, God, I hope those alligators just eat these fucking people. Except me, because I hate Florida. But it was one of those things.
I was going to say, someone had to.
No, but I mean, like, but you're right, though. There is like a level of human nature that is, you can't discount, especially for this kind of movie. It is, you want these people to survive. If you didn't want these people to survive, like, you would have turned it off literally within the first, 5 minutes of the movie after you saw him be a bad dad, like be a bad sports dad. Like, I'm done. You want these people to survive because you want them to have that moment of like, hey, we figured it out. We figured out how to be together in this like crazy situation. Granted, like after they're rescued and they have like 2 days to think about what they've been through, like, yeah, we still don't get along. Let's not talk anymore. But it doesn't matter.
Mary Pepper's maimed. She lost her scholarship because she's fucking maimed.
She's destroyed.
And then what? They go live in that broken, shitty house together?
Yeah, no. Like, again, it's
it's bad after this.
Once the movie cuts,
they're doing the full Jesus redux. Like, the Lord saved us down there. That's going to be their grift when this is over.
It's a really fascinating...
Dad, Predator, Apex Predator is God. That's going to be the new shirt they're selling.
I think that... I think the underdog thing is a really key component to watching this movie with, just turning... I don't like saying the phrase turn your brain off, but like the way that you... I think the way that you get into this movie from a perspective of, like, if you're like me, and maybe this is not necessarily your cup of tea automatically, the way you get into it is by rooting for the underdog. You want these people to survive because that's just the movie you're watching. If you don't want people, like, watching a movie and not wanting your characters to survive. Like, we watched Project Hail Mary last night, and that's such a great example of a movie where you're like, oh man, I want all these people to survive. So many of these people have made their peace with that they will not survive. And you can't help but want them to keep living because they're great characters. Yes. That is pretty much
the Sopranos ending, right?
Yeah, it's Crawl. You want people to keep living because they were great characters. You liked watching them.
Yeah.
You enjoy
and they really
watching
are.
these people.
And the game is fun. The gag is fun. The Gators are deployed with really kind of like master timing, right? Like every time we need a Gator, it emerged, right? Every time it's like, uh-oh, I'm starting to think, boom, Gator. And it is fun. And again, it's something we've been talking about a lot on this pod, right? Especially the Monday pods, where we watch Ready or Not 2, right? Ready or Not, Here I Come.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of, Sam and Heath were like, this movie, like it's kind of the same game. We know she's going to kill the rich people. We know she's going to win, blah, blah. And I started thinking about it, I was like, if you really think about the grand history of movies, that's pretty much all the movies. Like, we know who the hero of the movie is. They almost always win. They almost always defeat the alligator. So how do we still have the tension and stakes when we know exactly how almost all these movies are going to end? Almost every movie you've watched, the good guy wins in the end, right?
Sure.
The good guy limps to like the sunset. They've defeated the gator, the monster, the dragon, the ghost, whatever. We know that. They still have to find a way to make it interesting. And through the mechanics of the editing, the pacing, the gags, this movie does keep me on the edge of my seat in a way that, like, I watch so many horror movies just like unmoving, like a fucking vegetative state on my couch. Mm-hmm. This one I was like sitting up and I was like, God, I'm so stressed out watching this movie.
Right.
And I think it's the greatest trick you have to learn if you make these kind of movies.
Yes.
How do you make it engaging like that, even when the audience knows every single beat?
Right.
When I know that when the hurricane water comes into her bedroom and she's stuck in a bedroom with nowhere to hide between her and a gator, she's going to die. The gator grabs her arm, she's going to die. Having a fucking last memory of your dad cheering you on in the pool so you can grab a fucking flare that's not moving as the torrential fucking cycles of underwater pressure and physics are happening, she's gonna live. Like, I just know that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like, it's still fucking stressful and fun. It's the roller coaster effect, right? We know we're gonna make it to the end of the roller coaster, but we're still scared as fuck at what it does to us all along the way. And the best movies have to figure this out. And this one really passes that test for me.
Agreed. I think that's probably the biggest strength the movie has in general, is just that it keeps you engaged. And so many movies like this like would lose an audience. I don't know. Again, like, once the rain starts, you're like, well, they're going to die, and I'm going to turn it off and watch something else. Like, there's something so primordial about not only that perseverance, but also just, maybe that's what it is a little bit. It's just like the ability to go up against an apex predator. Not that you're one too, but like the audacity to go against nature, essentially. I think that's kind of the
audacity.
The audacity. That's kind of like the human element, though. I don't know if you agree, but like that.
Yeah, no, we are at our core. Every human is a cunt who thinks we can do literally. This is like that myth they tell you. They're like, if a mom sees her kid trapped under a truck, she'll pick that truck up.
Sure.
And you're like, that's just not true.
There's just like a level
somewhere someone saw a story and they're like, but like, we humans in our brain, we go, yep, I believe that. Humans will do it if we need to.
There's like
we are cunts at our very core.
There's this fight or flight response that it's, and again, flight is, they always say fight or flight. I've never met one human who's like, the flight response is what triggered. All of us fight. All of us say, I will beat nature. I will beat whatever this is because, I refuse to, I refuse to go down. It is like such a specific human emotion to say, I will not be taken out by this.
Well, the flight is the difference, right? Flight is what I would have if like the apocalypse came. When I told Amy, I was like, we've had a good run. I've loved our time with you and the kids. I've got 1 day left. I'm going to drink everything I can get my hands on, do all the H I can find, and try to find a bunch of people to have a yard orgy. Like, that's all I'm going to do for the last, 10 hours of my life. I'm not going to, rewatch Harold and Maude and hold my family and cry. Like, fuck you, nature. You can't take everything from me. I'm going to fucking have one last act of defiance. I'm going to be fucking stoned out of my mind looking at the sky as, various people are on and off of my face.
Right.
That's flight. That's a flight. Or is that a fight? I don't know.
I think you and Barry Pepper get along in this movie.
Not me, nature. And then all of a sudden the comet misses Earth and Amy's like, you can't come back in our house. You're gone. And I'm like, well, fuck.
Done.
All right, I guess I'll flight my way to the divorce court. This sucks.
Well, yeah, there's towards the end when the fucking alligator literally cleaves his arm off and eats it.
Yeah.
I'm like, anyone who that's ever have happened to, all of them go into shock. He's just like,
well, no, because he's got another string to do a tourniquet somehow.
Yeah.
Barry Pepper just tourniquets himself all over the movie. There's a lot of tourniqueting in this movie.
So
because you can tell that they read one time that you do that, and they're like, every scene has to have this now. Yeah. There's at least 3 tourniquet shots in this movie. And I was like, tourniquets don't mean you're just okay.
Yeah.
Like, Effie tourniqueted with a shoestring. She's still dead.
Yeah, she died. Like, again,
yeah, and you have to get past that.
Those are the ones you let go, because
if you think of this as a Jesus-infused sports movie,
sure,
it makes so much more sense.
Yeah. If this is a Kirk Cameron produced sports movie, yeah, I'm down. Like this.
If he's the dad in the basement, he's like, "Hello, my daughter. Welcome back. I've been here not having sex and having beers after work, waiting for your return. I came down here to pray closer to hell to defeat it." And she's like, "Good job, Papa." Then this movie makes perfect sense.
So, okay.
Can we talk about this too?
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in geography or being a realtor. This house makes literally no sense any way, shape, or form. So they have a crawl space, right? Okay, a lot of places have crawl spaces. Get it off the wet fucking marshy ground.
Yeah.
Whatever. You have pipes under there that can be worked on. Lots of good reasons to have crawl spaces. Why do they have a massive fucking tube that alligators can live in and are filled with water, but is also like low enough? Like that part, I was like, you can't just have alligators like making fucking home on your crawl space. I guess they've been away for a couple years, so I was like, maybe past that. I don't know what that room is. That's bullshit, right? Is that for the whole neighborhood or just their house? When she swims out, she's like 18 feet in that water. Like, it's like 30 plus feet to get up to where her house is. I was like, there's no way there's 30 feet of flood water. And the levees break from the opposite direction of where she comes out of the pipe. So I was like, how does that, the flood water's coming from the opposite direction? If there's one thing this movie gets an F on, it's geography.
Yeah. I always
really fucking poor.
I agree. I always stress to people, like, geography's a real, like, I don't think people realize how important it is for people when they watch movies to know where the movie's taking place.
Have like an innate sense of the surroundings. Yes.
Yeah. When you don't tell people what the location is or just show them around in a movie, you kind of basically just tell your audience, listen, you're going to have to just trust me here. And I'm like, yeah, in a movie where two people fight off two alligators, I'm not going to trust you. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well,
there's a problem
with
with
like
geography.
Where the pipe is, I was like, so if this is a flood pipe, right? But it's like, because my uncle lived in Florida, right? And they moved because of all the hurricanes. But he had like you would walk down like was 20 feet to get to like his dock or whatever.
Right.
It's like, fine, but this is like way taller than that, and it's not a dock, and there's road signs and shit like that. There is a dock she swims under. So it's like they're trying to do it, but like when you look back at it, because I kept going backwards. And I was like, this is not a real place. This is not a place that exists. This also isn't where you would have the flood pipe, I feel like.
Right.
If that's right. I used to live in Florida, right? Neither here nor there. It's just there's a lot of those things. I was like, that scene drove me insane. Like, that scene really fucking bothered me.
Okay, so outside of the movie, so some of the viral marketing they did, I was reading about this the other day, or yesterday when I was watching. I wanted to, because we've been talking a lot about the Florida-ness of this whole thing. Some of the viral marketing to get people interested in the movie was cast members from Jersey Shore, Floribama Shore, and Siesta Key were given clips to share online, which basically gave away the entire fucking movie.
Floribama Key.
So there's a lot of people that attribute that sort of viral marketing to getting people in the door. And I'm like, okay, you think about the people who watch those shows. Because this movie made, I think, $90 million off of like an $18 million budget, I think.
Oh, yeah. I was just looking it up. I remember Tarantino said this was one of his favorite films of 2019.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. It made his
list, and I know a bunch of people who like saw it based on that.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like, it's a big, dumb, sugary. Yeah. You have Snooki saying, go see a movie that should be a red flag. Yeah. But again, it's dumb. It's silly. But it fucking works. It's a big, dumb monster movie.
It's big, dumb,
like every
sugary.
one of those shark movies, right? 47 meters down, The Shallows. This is better than all of those movies. Like, there is just something this movie finds that makes it better. It makes it more interesting. And I was watching it last night. It was one of those, it's like, my human brain is like, no, don't do that. People wouldn't do something that stupid. Yeah. But my lizard brain is like, fuck yeah, let's go. And I'm just like really fucking excited watching it. Like physical reactions to it.
It does a really good job of locking into the lizard brain. And that, I think, is probably the reason the movie, that's what appeals. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. One more thing. I do think it's crazy. If you're so stupid you don't evacuate a hurricane, we should not be sending cops and boats and fucking helicopters to go save those people.
No.
Like, you're out of luck. I'm sorry. Like, why am I risking a helicopter and its pilots?
You deserve this stupidity. Like, you deserve this outcome.
Yeah. They should be flying around helping people who tried to get away but got caught, not people who were in the dead center of it because they wanted to block up some vents. That's crazy. Like, that doesn't make sense. We should not do that. I got to say, we didn't mention that having looters across the street, like just a white lady in braids and like these two fucking doofuses just looting, then get fucking mauled by gators was so fucking funny.
It was really
funny. And I have
funny.
to say, the other one that we have to give honorable mention to is when the guy sees something banging in the swing chain. And he's like, I better walk over towards it. And it's a gator. And one gator attacks him, throws him up, and they're doing the old fucking, you remember the Dudley Boys from WWE?
Yeah.
They did a 3D. The gator threw him up, and the other gator brought him down. And then all the gators rip at the same time and rip him into 6 pieces.
Yeah, that's the one.
Silly,
that was that.
But super fun.
That actually was going to be my most messed up moment because it's like, oh, jeez.
Oh, well, I ruined it. Well, we'll restart it. Let's set it up again. No, but it's like, that was just fucking cool. That's a microcosm. Do you think that scene's rad? You will love this movie.
Yeah, I think that's like that's a microcosm of why what I didn't like about the movie was these, like, it's rad to watch. Fucking hilarious and fucking awesome. However, this movie should have been, like, I don't need looters across the street. I don't need these other bits. Like, this is supposed to be
I thought it was funny.
Oh, dude, I thought it was hilarious. Like, there's things that I think are fun, and again, there's things in movies that I think are fun that are highly unnecessary, and this was one of them. True. But I still enjoyed it. Again, like you said, it's just sugary drinks. That's all.
Sugary drinks. If I had to pick the most messed up moment in this movie, it's hard because the movie's such tomfoolery. I gotta say, her crawling into this fucking tube that's supposed to fucking drain water from her house, but it's actually a giant Batman villain's, like, it's an alligator bat cave.
Yeah.
Right? This gigantic fucking square box that does not exist. That's fucking decorative mosses. It has, like, it was designed for an alligator.
Yeah.
When she crawls in, she's like, oh, fuck. And she puts her hand on the egg and squishes the egg. I was like, oh, no. And then there's a baby in there. And then that big chungus comes walking down the tube. I was like, this is crazy. She reaches out to grab the gun off the dead man's belt.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is the most messed up, stupid thing. When it bites her arm, is that the alligator wouldn't immediately be thrashing her side to side.
She still has the muscle to just...
Yeah. She does the Keanu Reeves Point Break and just fires the gun a bunch of times and shoots the gator off her arm. And immediately is like, I got to crawl out of that tunnel now. The fact that gator wouldn't immediately rip her 85-pound body's arm off so she could keep shooting guns. Well, again, in a movie that is so full of Florida man wish fulfillment, that's the number one. It's like, do you think we forgot about the second day? Not today, brother.
You know what's wild, too? Like, okay, this is actually something that happens in movies a lot. Like, close contact kills with animals like that. I think people often forget about how rigor mortis works. Like, when you like, destroy somebody, like the brain, like you basically like lock them in place. She should have lost her arm, like not just from a bite, but literally she would have to like pull her arm off
down and then it's stuck there for a minute.
Yeah. She should have 127 hours.
Also, when you die, your body loosens and you shit yourself. Yeah. I don't know if gators are the same.
I have no idea. But she should have 127 hours her arm off
through the mouth,
and then gone to help her other armless dad. And they could have had 2 arms between them. She finds
another gun and then shoots her own arm up, and she leaves like, ah! Yeah. No, this... it was the one Florida man thing we didn't check the box of. Is like, hey, we love guns, too.
Yeah.
Guns are awesome. And they got there. Do you have another most messed up moment in Crawl?
I mean, her out swimming alligators at any moment is just like, what is going on? There's just
the swimming in the middle of the eye of the storm scene is like one of the dumbest thing that's ever been committed to film.
Here's my thing. This whole thing, like, because there's not really any messed up moments in this movie. It's really like this episode is what's the most Florida man moment in these, and you're like, it's that stuff. It's like, it's let me outswim an animal. that literally lives in the water.
That's designed like a missile with an all-muscular, like, 10-foot tail to paddle through the water.
Okay, that's my favorite Florida Man moment. So when she comes out, like, she's holding her breath, she comes out the other side, she looks up and sees the tail. And you're like, oh, wow, like, what a fucking magnificent creature that evolution hath wrought. And then she fucking swims away, that, like, aerial swimming where you're like, you know, like you're using your feet as like a backflip.
Yeah, like she's at an aquarium in Vegas. Yeah,
like she's a mermaid, and you're like, oh, you're just dead, like so fast, like immediately, like it's just.
I thought it was so funny because the gag they did was that her little bubbles tickled the alligator's like taint, and it was like, that's it. And I was like, do you think that there are not other creatures that make bubbles underwater? Do you think in this torrential fucking flooded zone there's not anything that had air in it that's making bubbles? Alligators must get bubbles on their taint all day, every day.
These alligators apparently also just like got smarts from the deep blue sea sharks. Like it's just.
So I was watching this. I was like, this is so deep blue sea.
Yeah.
100% deep blue sea. That's a great comp.
Yeah. It's deep blue sea for sure.
Except deep blue sea, we did a whole thing about how the scientists made them movie monster smart. This one is just like, hey,
this one's like, man,
it's true.
Apex predators, you know? I've never heard people talk more about, besides like Chronicle, heard people talk, that kid was a total cunt. Like, how much apex predators are like, hey guys, you're going to die. Just shut up. Like, it's over.
I'm
like,
saying if The Rock did that as one of his Instagram posts, you wouldn't even know the difference.
Yeah. This is like.
It just happens to be a Barry Pepper single.
This is
Florida
real
Florida
man, manosphere shit.
Yeah, but again, there is a huge percentage of people now who are into just grind culture and look maxing and whatever. If you just want it the most, it'll happen for you. And you're like, that's not how life works. Yeah, you can't just beat up an alligator. Like, that's not how life works. Anywho, good movie. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We're off to a great start and all. Month up, time to get quit curation. Up next, what might be on the polar opposite end of the crawl experience, Dark Water, 2002's Dark Water, a much more somber tale that we're excited to share with you. This month, we're getting whet. You know what else is making us whet? The thought of you joining us on the pod by going to Indiegogo and typing in Mr. Cream Jeans, helping us get our first movie out of the world. You know what makes Alex so whet he might slide off the seat? Knowing that you would sign up to be a patron of the Messed Up Movies podcast and help grow this show.
It's true.
You know what would make us whet? Is if you would subscribe to Misfit Parade on YouTube. That would be so awesome. Thank you in advance.